So we will legislate to put Channel, the existing successful programme for people at risk of radicalisation, on a statutory basis to improve the consistency of its delivery and ensure the participation of all the appropriate organisations. We will also place a statutory duty on named organisations, such as schools, colleges, universities, the police, prisons, probation providers and local government, to help prevent people from being drawn into terrorism. So, for example, universities will have to put in place extremist speaker policies, and prisons will have to show they are dealing with extremist prisoners in an appropriate way. The organisations subject to the duty will have to take into account guidance issued by the Home Secretary. Where organisations consistently fail, ministers will be able to issue directions to them, which will be enforceable by court order. But in response to the increased threat we face, and in response to the police and security services telling us this is what they need, we will legislate to allow TPIM subjects to be relocated to different parts of the country. At the same time, we will accept the recommendation made by David Anderson, the independent reviewer of terrorism legislation, that the burden of proof for TPIM should be raised from reasonable belief to the balance of probabilities. This is in line with the civil standard of proof, and our analysis shows that every single TPIM issued so far would have passed this threshold. The bill will give the authorities greater powers to disrupt and control the movements of people who want to travel abroad to fight. The police and designated border force officers acting on the directions of the police will have the power to seize somebody's travel documents, which includes tickets as well as passports, at the border for up to 30 days if they have reasonable suspicion that a person plans to leave the UK for the purpose of engaging in terrorism-related activities. This power will apply to British passports and foreign passports, and to British citizens and foreign nationals, and it will give the authorities time to investigate the suspect and assess whether they need to take further action. In addition to these new powers to stop people leaving the country, the bill will create a statutory temporary exclusion order to control the return to the UK of a British citizen suspected of involvement in terrorism-related activity abroad. These orders will be enforced through the cancellation of travel documents and the inclusion of the individual's details on our watch lists, including the no-fly list. So the message to British nationals participating in terrorism overseas is clear. You will only be allowed to come home on our terms. We are also taking the opportunity to toughen our arrangements for aviation security. This means requiring airlines to provide passenger data more effectively, changing the law to extend our no-fly list, and strengthening our ability to impose security and screening requirements on travel to the UK. If our airlines do not give us passenger information or comply with our security screening rules, we will ensure they cannot fly to the United Kingdom.